I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we delve into a powerful and deeply personal narrative of resilience and reflection. Joining us is Edward R. Leon Hamner, author of From Here to There, My Life Story. It is a moving account of growing up in Tuscaloosa County, Alabama during the Jim Crow era, serving in the military, and navigating life in the United States as a Black citizen. His story is more than just a memoir. It's a window into the lived experiences of countless others, capturing the progress and ongoing challenges in the journey toward equality and the American dream. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Good River Print and Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Edward, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Okay. Well, this is a powerful story. It's a true story about my life from childhood to adulthood. And it's really talking about my lifestyle coming up during the Jim Crow era in segregated Tuscaloosa County, Alabama. And it's really not just about me, although it's my life story. But it's telling the story of lots of Black America here in the United States of America. And it talks about and tells people who really want to understand more about the lifestyle of Black Americans on their journey here in life. It talked about the strain and struggle that we would wake up with daily, not just sometime, but all the time. And that was because of restrictions, and limitations. And we had to fight, not physical, but we had to fight for our rights every day.
Tell us about some of those restrictions and limitations you had to endure growing up.
Okay, our lifestyle when it comes to restriction, we were restricted when it comes to opportunities
Mm.
and education. And we were isolated to particular types of neighborhoods to live in. We couldn't have bank accounts or anything along that line. Nothing that a person need to be successful in life. We was restricted and then we were limited. We could only have so much in life.
Some would argue some of those restrictions are still in effect today, that the Black American on average is financially deprived, that they're opportunity deprived, and that they're educationally deprived because of systemic racism. Do you feel that's still the case? Although things have gotten somewhat better, there are still many, many challenges that lie ahead.
Oh, well, we've come a long ways
Mhm.
in life, but those restrictions and limitations are still there.
Yeah.
That is what we're marching forward for, and our goal in life is to reach the opportunity that others have to be successful and to reach the American dream, they call it. What we're looking for is real equal rights, civil rights, same opportunities, same goals, and without limitations. It's up to us to be successful if you give us the opportunity. The late James Brown sang a song that said, I don't want you to give me anything, just open the door and I'll walk in and get it.
Exactly, exactly. Very well said, very much to the point. I know Reverend Sharpton speaks in similar tones sometimes. Certainly, Dr. Martin Luther King was instrumental in helping raise up African Americans in this country. Um, who do you feel our leaders are today? Barack Obama, I'd imagine, has helped break some barriers by rising to the role of president.
Yes, yes. It's it's not easy in our life to wake up every day, and I think about what I'm saying. It's not easy to wake up in our life every day with the same thing on our mind. What can I do next to move forward? Who will help me to make this next step to move forward? Because our journey has not ended. We're still fighting for equal rights and civil rights.
Absolutely, absolutely. In your book, you mentioned coming this far in life without hate. How
Right.
did you maintain this mindset despite all the challenges you faced and some of the hatred you actually faced?
That I have to go through myself.
Yeah.
Okay. I give you some examples that are that I actually had to go through. Some years ago, I was back in Alabama. I went back for medical reason with my wife, and I accepted a job position with the Coca-Cola Company. And we had to go down in Greene County, Alabama, down through there, right, to deliver. And when I got to certain places down there, I couldn't go into the store to deliver the drinks. I could load them on the cart. The driver had to take them into the store. That was one thing. Now, this is a more modern. I was in Battle Creek, Michigan. I'm legally blind. And I went to the blind school there and went downtown, Battle Creek, Michigan. And one of the teachers, instructors, took me down. But I wasn't able to go into a cafe with her to get a drink. So she had to go in and get the drink and bring them out. And this is modern day. I'm talking less than 20 years ago. So life is still hard for me,
Yeah.
although I'm 88 years old now.
Yeah.
And I have come a long way. I've seen a whole lot of things, but my eye is still on the goal, which is equality. Now, I'm not trying to reach it with hatred. I'm not trying to read any retaliation. That's not what's on my mind or any other black mind. What's on our mind is non-discrimination, no segregation.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. You're not looking for anything different than what everyone else has.
Right.
You're just looking for not a handout, but a
Huh?
hand, as they used to say, for the NAACP. And I think it's very, very true. What do you think the future holds?
What?
How do you think we get better? How do you think we improve as a nation to addressing equality among the races?
Okay, I think one word, understanding.
Hmm.
You see, understanding is what establishes us in life. And no one can go beyond their understanding. But when you get to your boundary, you got to lean on someone else understanding. And that's where we slow down at. It's always finding someone who you can lean on their understanding. And I'll explain it to you how my father explained it to me. He said, son, don't hang around nobody that don't know as much as you do. Don't become satisfied with people who know as much as you do, but find someone who know more than you do.
Mm.
And that's who to hang around.
Yeah.
And our problem there is education. There were three things that held us back
Mm.
during the Jim Crow era. One, we were dependent on the other race.
Mhm.
We feared the other race and the lack of education. And through the back door, I see them three things coming back again.
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. The way the education system is set up in this country is inherently unfair.
That's
Rich communities have great schools, poorer
right.
communities have terrible schools.
That's
So
right.
how are you going to level the playing field if you got the rich kids getting great educations and the poor kids getting a lousy education? So, and that's fundamental. That's the basis. That's the basis from which everything else comes. That's where your doctors come from, your lawyers come from, your leaders come from. They all have a strong educational foundation. So that needs to change the way we fund education in this country. It can't just be based on property taxes and neighborhoods. It has to be some kind of nationalized system, in my opinion, where all people have the same opportunity when it comes to education. Let me ask you this. You
Okay.
served our country in the military, as a black man, of course, during a
Right.
time of racial segregation. That must have been an eye-opening event. Tell us a little bit about what it was like serving in the military during that time.
Serving in the military for me, it it printed out to me my duty to my country and how to be loyal. But at the same time, there were problems still there in the military. And I give you a good example of what happened one time, and I never forgot this. Election year came up. They would gather the white soldiers out in ranks to go vote, but we had to remain there in the barracks while the white soldiers go vote and then come back to the barracks so we can come out and join our fellow soldiers. That was a problem when I went in the military. There have been improvements since then. But when I went in the military, my life story, that was one of the things that I never forgot about the military. But there was another thing about the military. I spent 3 years overseas. When I come back home in uniform to go south to visit, I still had to go to the back of the bus for the country that I had willing to give my life for to defend, wouldn't let me sit anywhere on the bus. Couldn't go in any restaurant that I wanted to. And those things about the military, I never forgot.
Yeah. Edward, before we leave you today, is there anything we haven't mentioned today that you'd like the folks at home to know?
Right. Well, no, today that has been success. There's no doubt about it. There have been success, but you still got a long distance to go yet.
Mm.
I speak to others and I say to them, I watch TV all the time. And I says, to me, it bothers me as being a military veteran, and I hardly see any black generals or black officers. The TV shows mostly show white officers. Where are minorities, not just black? Where are minority generals? Where are our minority lieutenants and colonels? That's what I think about today's military. So the military still have a long way to go.
Yeah. The nation still has a long way to go. And I think this book is going to be very helpful in taking a look at what happened in the past, what we can do to change the future. The name
That's
of the
it.
book is From Here to There, My Life Story. It is a moving account of growing up in Tuscaloosa County, Alabama during the Jim Crow era, serving in
Right.
the military and navigating life in the United States as a Black citizen. This book is more than just a memoir. It is
That's right.
his story that is a lived experience
I've lived
into the countless lives of others, capturing the progress, ongoing challenges in the journey toward equality and the American dream. Edward, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. I just leave one thought
Sure.
passed on to me by my father. He showed me a nail laying out on the ground with rust all around it. And he asked me, what you see? I said, a nail. He said, that's all? I said, yes, sir. He said, son, look at that nail real good. In life, don't be like that nail. Don't just lay there and wither away. Get up and wear out.
Great. Better to wear out than to rust. That's basically what your dad was saying, and it's very, very true. Thank you so much for your time. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time
Thank you,
on
sir, for
Spotlight.
having me. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.